Assassin's Creed Mirage gameplay walkthrough dropped a few days ago.
What?
Okay, maybe it was a few weeks ago, and I see a ton of polarizing views already. Some have called it exciting, which I gotta say it is. Some have called it a repackaged Assassin's Creed Origins with a new plot. I can see what they mean, to be honest. And although all we got to see was a 7-something minute snippet of what's about to come, it has really raised a lot of concerns in me. And with Mirage being called a return to the roots, a service to the fans of the old Assassin's Creed, and many more such intriguing things, this gameplay reveal had a ton of anticipation. But did it bring back the classic Assassin's Creed feel that us Ezio era fans love and remember? Or did it just give us more of the same? Well, if I'm being honest, which I usually am, I got a lot of mixed feelings. What are they? Let's get down to the details, because today in this video, I break down the good, bad and TBD aspects of Assassin's Creed Mirage gameplay walkthrough. The good, no RPG system. Thank heavens the oh so stupid RPG system is finally gone. Which means no more of the
you can't kill enemies a few levels above you even if you stab them right in the neck bullshit.
I've been pretty vocal about how that ruined the experience for me in near-perfect games like Assassin's Creed Origins, but thankfully it's all back to normal. The RPG system never belonged in the Assassin's Creed world in my humble opinion, so the exclusion is a big thumbs up for me. It also opens up the entire map without any insurmountable barriers blocking your way. I still remember wanting to explore the entire landscape of Origins and Odyssey but being unable to do so until I leveled up, which was a pain. And that's just one of the many drawbacks of the system, so thankfully that's not the case anymore. Basim. From the very little we saw of him, Basim seems to be a really good if not great protagonist. But then again, he was pretty much the best written character for me in Valhalla, so it was no shock that he seems like a force to be reckoned with. There's a calm and dignity in his demeanor which is almost terrifying, and since we have no idea how and when Loki took control of him and whether he becomes a hero or a villain at the end of Mirage, the stage seems to be set for him to exceed all expectations. His character design also looks to be terrific, but then again, that's one area Ubisoft has mostly not faltered in, so it's no surprise. He looks like a younger Ezio, which brought back fond memories. Definitely a plus. The setting. Baghdad is breathtaking. Another area where Ubisoft barely misses. The city is vibrant and incredibly colorful. It's also full of people and stunning locations. And as they promised, it's not as exhaustingly big as previous installments. And it already shows why this is an advantage. Every part of the map we could see in the trailer had tons of intricate detail that highlight the culture and way of life in the 800s. It also kind of reminded me of Revelations with the Islamic architecture that spread across this beautiful city. I can't wait to roam the streets of Baghdad in Mirage. Finally, it's about assassins. Easily the most notable and essential change that most fans have been begging for from years. Step aside Greek deities, Viking barbarians and Norse gods, because the assassins are here to take charge. And if you ask me, this was way overdue, so it's almost nostalgic to see Assassin's Creed be about assassins again, as disturbing as that is. And although I know that at some point in the game Loki would make a return and it'll be about gods and apocalypse again, I'm just glad that we are getting a plot that's closer to the source material than it has been in ages. Thumbs up. The combat style and assassinations. There are a lot of things going right for it in terms of combat for Mirage. Be it the addition of new assassination techniques like the mark and consecutive kill move and bombs, or the reimagination of old stealth techniques like the air assassination and throwing knives. It all looks to be in the ways of the assassins. No more magical powers or arrows phasing through walls. It's all about real stuff like throwing knives, smoke bombs and using the environment to your advantage. Also, the limited amount of weapons is a huge plus if you ask me, because the seemingly infinite number of weapons became exhausting at a point in the last 3 games. It was a never-ending expedition because no matter how much you upgraded a weapon or armor, there always seemed to be something better. And I love that they've taken away the shields, bow and arrow and other weapons that an assassin probably wouldn't use. Massive thumbs up in my book. And now for the bad, the parkour. Well, I do have some eyesight issues, I won't lie, but honestly, where is the new and improved free running? From what I saw, it just looked like Valhalla's parkour with a few inconsequential twists. Okay, you can use the objects around you to slow your enemies down, and there's a bit more opportunity for free running, but I saw no innovation whatsoever. They've just taken the old ideas and pasted them into the game with better graphics. Don't get me wrong, it certainly is good, but then again, it was way better ages ago in Unity. So with almost a decade gone by, shouldn't we be seeing complex, exhilarating parkour at this point? This was supposed to be the resurgence and enhancement of all things classic Assassin's Creed, including the parkour, which does not seem to be the case. The Eagle's View. The moment I saw the scouting the world through an eagle's vision is still around in Mirage, I shook my head in disappointment. Yeah, maybe from an aesthetics point of view it seems good, but there's a big problem, because it takes away greatly from coming across unknown dangers and the thrill of discovery. This Eagle's View gives us a comprehensive look of the entire city, whereas back in the day you had to climb a really tall structure to enjoy said view. So these things deprive us of the small incentives that pushed us to explore. I still remember how I was so intrigued by what kind of challenges and scenery might lie ahead while playing Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood. And when I climbed the Colosseum or the Cathedral of the Santa Maria del Fiore, it was so satisfying. And as far as the original Eagle Vision goes, which essentially is a sixth sense, is thankfully still around. But how and why are we able to see through an eagle's perspective? Because frankly, it's just lazy. What a pathetic downgrade which seems to be looming above us like a dark cloud. Thumbs down. Some visual aspects. I know it says work in progress, but a select few visual aspects stuck out like a sore thumb. The two most glaring ones were number 1, the health bars of enemies, which look like it's from the earliest Prince of Persia days. It just seems off in a weird way. I couldn't put my finger on exactly what it was. Could be the color or the blandness, but it just felt wrong. And second, the water. Well, it looks like piss. Except the piss is mixed with mud and is now a thick, stinky concoction. I remember Just Cause 4 when I saw this, and if you don't know this, the game was heavily criticized for the same. Well, let's see what happens when the work is finished. Soft or weak looking combat animations. I know that it feels like I'm just nitpicking at this point, but man, are the assassination and combat animations really soft and sloppy looking. Because when Basim stabs someone with his sword or assassinates them, it almost looks and feels like they're made out of hay, because there seems to be no impact or resistance, or at least it looks that way. Be it back in the day of the Ezio era, the Kenway era, or even in recent games, most combat or assassination animations were bloody brutal and crisp. It was in fact so good that I still remember Ezio hitting a home run with his Mercenario Warhammer, or Connor splitting people's skulls into two with his Tomahawk. That impact seems to be missing, which if you ask me is really important. I mean, after all, this is a game based on cold-blooded violent murderers. A small negative, I agree, but a negative nevertheless. And now for the aspects that I'm unsure about, because these are the ones that might turn out to be overwhelming positives or crushing negatives. Too much like Origins. Is it just me? I know it's probably not. Or does this game seem a lot like Origins? Like a lot. Majority of it is because of the desert-like setting of Baghdad, I know, but a ton of elements seem to be taken right off of Origins. Like even the heads-up display seems so reminiscent of it. Now this isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's true that no matter how good a setting is, as Assassin's Creed fans have come to expect new ones with every subsequent game. And when we don't get it, it's usually a disaster. Remember Rogue and how it massively underperformed compared to other titles? That's a scenario that's definitely a possibility. But on the flip side, it could be so innovative and fresh that the backdrop might become nothing more than a teeny tiny flaw in an otherwise flawless game. As a matter of fact, the similarities it has with Origins might even work in its favor and bring back fans who quit after Odyssey's release. Well, only time will tell what happens. Compact length. Assassin's Creed Mirage's main story is apparently going to be about 20 hours long. Now, based on the contents of said plot, this could be a good or a bad thing. The problem is that Assassin's Creed fans, old and new, are now used to games that takes them weeks to finish, if not months. And the $50 price point means people might expect way more than they get. If the story is top-notch and full of adrenaline-pumping missions, it might satisfy the old fans to the fullest. But I'm pretty sure that the fans of the newer format of Assassin's Creed games are bound to complain, as even side missions in Odyssey and Origins sometimes take hours to complete. I know many of you might be thinking that it hardly matters, but let me tell you, it matters more than you might realize. Because if this game fails to make bank, we can kiss old-fashioned Assassin's Creed games goodbye. That scenario is really scary. So these were my honest thoughts on Assassin's Creed Mirage's gameplay walkthrough. Tell me in the comment section down below how you feel about it. Perhaps you have a feeling different than I do, or maybe I missed a few points. Let me know everything in the comments section. As it stands now, Mirage seems to be a step in the right direction without a doubt. But until we see exactly what kind of package we are getting at the end, nothing is certain, so let's wait and watch. So that's it for today guys, I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay safe, stay strong, and stay tuned. It's your boy VZX signing out.